Why did my landlord call the police when I paid rent early? I moved into this apartment last year, and my landlord Rick seemed normal at first, always texting about minor stuff, but nothing crazy. Then 3 months ago, he started getting weird about rent payments. He'd claim I was always late, even though I had bank records proving otherwise. Last month, he left a note on my door saying late fees would now be $50 per day, starting the second day of each month. I texted him that my lease says rent is due on the 3rd and showed him the contract. He said the building policy changed and I needed to deal with it. The other tenants were getting the same treatment. My neighbor Sarah told me Rick charged her a $100 late fee, even though she paid on time. When she showed him her bank statement, he said the timestamp didn't count because it was after 5 p.m. Det hade been her lot in the eras Paul, and they had probiert mig till pivdräkt. Jag actually kunde på a lot time. As lot of his candies nights already, but count a lot him a lot time thingy on. That'll be counted out. Mrs. Chen from downstairs got hit with a $200 cleaning fee because Rick claimed her apartment smelled like cooking. She's lived here for 8 years and never had any complaints before. Rick was clearly running some kind of scam, so this month I decided to pay early, really early. On January 20th, I knocked on his door at 6 in the morning with cash for February rent. He answered in his bathrobe looking annoyed and said he wasn't accepting early payments because it messes up his accounting system. I told him that was ridiculous and held out the money. He refused to take it and shut the door in my face. Fine. I left the cash in an envelope under his door with a note saying February rent paid in full with today's date and time clearly written. 2 hours later, he's banging on my apartment door yelling about how I can't just force payments on him. So I showed him my lease again. Nothing in there about not paying early. He stormed off muttering about calling his lawyer. I started documenting everything, took photos of my lease, printed bank statements, saved every text message. If Rick wanted to play games, I was ready. Sarah and Mrs. Chen were doing the same thing after I told them what happened. The next morning, I wake up to police knocking. 2 officers asking about a break-in and theft at my landlord's apartment. Apparently, someone had broken in and stolen $800 cash that was sitting on his kitchen counter. I'm confused until one officer asks if I'd been to Rick's apartment recently. I explained about paying rent early and leaving the money under his door. The officer's face changed completely. Sir, did you leave $800 under his door? I confirmed that was exactly what happened. The officer looked at his partner and said we need to talk to Rick again. Tachisti. Turns out Rick had called the police claiming someone broke into his apartment and stole cash off his counter. He gave them this whole story about hearing noises and finding his front door unlocked with money missing. But he forgot about the security camera in his hallway that recorded me sliding the envelope under his door at 6:15 a.m. The same envelope he picked up 30 minutes later and counted before putting the money in his pocket. When the police confronted him with the video footage, Rick started backpedaling hard. He claimed it was all a misunderstanding and he forgot about my early payment. The officers weren't buying it. One officer said, "Sir, you filed a report claiming $800 was stolen from your counter, but this video shows you picking up an envelope from your door and counting the exact same amount." Rick's face went white. Filing a false police report is a crime, sir. They arrested him right there in the hallway while 3 other tenants watched through their peepholes. Sarah was filming the whole thing from her door crack. The best part was finding out from my neighbor that Rick had been skimming security deposits for years and using fake late fees to squeeze extra money from tenants. The police investigation uncovered everything. Turns out Rick owed the building management company over $15,000 in stolen deposits and fraudulent fees. He'd been pocketing late charges that weren't even legal according to city housing laws. Mrs. Chen's cleaning fee was completely made up. The investigation revealed Rick had done this at his previous buildings too, always targeting older tenants or people who didn't speak English as their first language, people who wouldn't fight back or report him. Rick's in jail and the building management company fired him immediately. They also refunded every bogus fee he charged over the past 2 years. I got back $300 I didn't even realize I'd been scammed out of. My new landlord actually thanked me for paying early and said anytime works for future payments. Sarah and Mrs. Chen both got their money back too. The whole building feels different now without Rick's constant harassment and threats. The funniest part is Rick's lawyer called me trying to get me to drop some kind of charges. I told him I didn't file any charges. His client called the police on himself when he tried to frame me for stealing my own rent money.